HupoEntertainment.com presents Brand Sharks. Chapter 3. Author Brent Stone. Change your brand, change your life. Read by the co-author Mike Duffy.
It's Mike here from DuncanHead.ca. This is Chapter 3 of Brand Sharks, a book I have co-authored with other authors. Chapter 3. By Change Your Brand, Change Your Life by Brent Stone. Again, that's the title. This is the book. You can buy it at brandsharksbook.com to get an autographed copy from me. There were blue lights flashing through the curtains and the sound of policemen's fist pounding on the front door. Unfortunately, it wasn't just a noise complaint. Ground up OxyContin and lines of cocaine were on the kitchen countertop. Before my friends and I knew it, friends and I took off running into the woods, trying to run as fast as possible away from some random person's apartment, looking like a scene from an episode of Narcos. This was a typical Friday or Saturday night. Well, some Wednesdays, Thursdays, Tuesdays, you get the idea. Thankfully, I wasn't trying to move the chemicals. Pot was my thing. It was a social money maker. I wasn't a very good business person, and I had friends and acquaintances who were much better. I was just learning the foundation of fitting in. You thought I was going to say I was making money, right? Not yet. I couldn't care less about the profit. Not yet. I couldn't care less about profit at that point in my life. I was just trying to belong. I didn't realize it, but I was subconsciously trying to create a brand for myself. I didn't sell a lot of drugs. In fact, I tried more to organize parties with my friends. Of course, I wasn't going to turn down cash flow if the opportunity presented itself. No, I kind of understood the bigger picture. I'd soon learn that who you surround yourself with will directly influence how the world will interact with you and where your life will end up. I can't even tell you how many near-death experiences I had trying to live my life maxing out every 24-hour span. However, I believe that it was all with purpose, and what I learned has helped my ability in trying to guide people toward good decisions. This seems counterintuitive. I know, just stick with me here. During my senior year of high school, I was out of control. I thought I was in control, but whoa, not even close. My group of friends and I thought we were the cast from The Fast and the Furious, but honestly, we were living a more reckless lifestyle than the movie portrays. A few nights a week, we would throw parties at the duplex of some friends who didn't care what we did. We thought street racing was fun and tried crazy acts behind the wheel that I believe God had to have delivered us from on multiple occasions. Eventually, a friend tipped me off that my buddy and I needed to chill out on selling drugs. His explanation scared me enough to stop selling them since the tip was from law enforcement he was apparently connected with. The two of us that he spoke to were not even in the world as deep as others in our friend group. He had just come up on the radar of the local police department, who knew enough about us to know we would be turning 18 soon, and they could arrest us as adults. Once I connected the dots, I decided to lay low for a few months. Then a big opportunity came my way. With a few months of high school left and all the boxes checked on my list of shallow goals from childhood, like owning a self-perceived cool car, cool friends, cool girlfriends throughout high school, I started getting worried about my future. The brand I had built around this punk kid who loved cheap thrills would not profit me after graduation. So I started trying to figure out who I wanted to be. Honestly, I was a bit scared, considering I had no idea what I wanted to do when I grew up. Telling people I was going to college sounded good, but my SAT scores were below average at best, and Blue Ridge Community College seemed like the best bet at higher education. Most of my friends had plans to go to prestigious colleges or universities. They at least knew what they wanted to do. I, on the other hand, thought only far enough ahead to plan for the next party I was throwing with my friends. I was working one evening, and a guy who I worked with as the busboy at Outback Steakhouse started telling me about this online opportunity. Long story short, I was sitting down with this business coach 2 weeks later. I was so ready for an opportunity to do something to further myself. At that point in my life, I couldn't picture getting a degree from college at all. So, network marketing was my ticket. I bought in hook, line, sinker, rod, reel, and boats. The network marketing journey started with me talking about the business to my circle of friends, and I was not shy about challenging their opinions. Most wouldn't tell me directly that they thought I'd never make something of myself in network marketing. To be honest, I am sure some thought I wouldn't make it at all. For the ones who attempted to talk me out of pursuing my new endeavor, I just used what I was taught to say along with my abrasive personality to win the conversation. Obviously, that didn't work. Winning a conversation in your mind doesn't make the other person feel like they're wrong. I wish I had learned that tip at that stage in my life. That left me with only my parents, my best friend, and my girlfriend at the time, who joined me in business. Needless to say, I needed to step up my results in recruiting people. The network marketing business typically measures business growth based on adding or recruiting new associates between several big conferences that you attend each quarter. If you don't see growth from event to event, that means you're going backwards, and that isn't good. I didn't have a thriving business after my second big conference. I had 4 total people 7 months into my journey. Not impressive. So I dug into the available learning material, fueled by the anger that people didn't understand basic business principles, or so I believed. As my business eventually began to grow, I realized that applied business sense makes you more money than technical skill does after a certain pay level. The most important element in the beginning was my belief in my dream for financial freedom. That was what gave me the discipline to work toward my goals every single day. Most people don't have a strong enough belief in something, which directly results in their inability to achieve anything. 18 months after I began to apply this belief, with God's hand moving in my life and some good coaching, I had achieved a level in business that at the age of 19 made me one of the youngest in the company to have reached. The indicated success certainly did not come easy. I overcame many hurdles starting from the time I began my network marketing business. I want to pause here to address what they were and what they taught me. Number 1, I was too arrogant with no people skills and nothing to be arrogant about. Pressure taught me never to lose control of my ego. There are always subject matter experts who are far more successful in things than I am pursuing, and I could be learning from them. I quickly realized that delaying that process of learning this would only hurt me. Number 2, I was only confident talking to people I knew. Strangers, no way. I discovered that you could achieve anything if you learned to talk to people who are outside of your comfort zone. I was completely broke. The lesson here taught me that you don't need funding to be successful. I found myself pulling weeds, doing maintenance type work, and washing cars for anyone who would let me. 4, it seemed I was too young because I was still in high school. I had no credibility. Credibility is required for people to take you seriously. I realized that you can build your own credibility if you develop follow through. The simple act of sticking to something you tell people you're going to do will do wonders for credibility. Ask yourself, do you have a credible personal brand? Unfortunately, my initial success was somewhat short-lived at that time. I still had lots to learn in the world of network marketing and branding in general. I had to rebuild my business due to letting it slide when I was 21. During this time, my resume with marketing was good enough to earn me a job as the office manager of a large multi-specialty dental practice. This is where I was first exposed to the healthcare and dental industry. I learned so many things in such a short period. The owner, a great dentist, taught me that your brand truly boils down to how you treat your staff, your patients, and your community. This is where I started to believe how much my brand matters, and I carried that realization with me as I began to rebuild my network marketing business. Over the next year, I faced new challenges that I didn't face the first time. Most new entrepreneurs don't realize that the journey to any real success almost feels like being on an amusement park ride. It's important to define the challenges I face and what they taught me at a time when I thought I was an expert based on my previous success. My brand went from successful to previously successful. I had accolades, but no current success in my business. Previously, I was recognized for a certain size of business with certain parameters that was about 100% of what it had been when I got that award. I was making over 90% less than I had been at my previous income level from my business. The cost of road trips, meetings, and startup business support tools were all above what I was making in revenue. I had done it before with zero income, so by that point, I was still keeping a positive attitude about it. This taught me to temper my attitude. Of course, not everything goes your way, but if you're not quitting, keep on pressing forward. I had skills and experience that would make me feel entitled to an elevated position my current situation wouldn't support. I would have to go back and do all the grunt work to network and rebuild from the ground up, which is a fancy way of saying I had to meet new people to recruit for my business. Thoughtful consideration here taught me to be humble with a positive attitude. Sometimes you have to grind to get to the next level. Deal with it. My self-image was deflated. Coming back from temporary failure after having success was harder than achieving it the first time. There wasn't any fanfare or success spotlight on me the second time. I understood the rules of engagement. I wouldn't receive recognition again until my next new level of achievement. In network marketing, you want recognition so you can direct it to the team that you're bringing in. It helps them realize how big of a role they play in helping you reach your goals. By default, I wouldn't be getting that during the second go around until I surpassed where I had previously stagnated. This taught me the value of patience. Any achievement worth a great deal is worth being patient for. Note, that doesn't mean you can't shorten the length of time by working harder. I had to work a traditional job again despite my desire to be a full-time entrepreneur. I never viewed any of my previous jobs as careers, so going back to one wasn't exciting for me. The change was tough since I had taken back a lot more control of my schedule when I first left the dental practice, and I loved that control. However, I loved not worrying about whether I could cover my credit card bills more than control my schedule. This taught me about the phases of life. The phase I was in was living paycheck to paycheck. I didn't want to admit it. I wanted people to think I was successful, living the dream life of not having a boss, etc. I was living in a facade. That was definitely not the phase of my life where I could be a full-time entrepreneur. As I was rebuilding my network marketing business, I needed a job that I could work for a while so I could mature. I couldn't be skipping around to what was convenient for me simply because I didn't want to think about solving schedule conflicts with my side business. Until the next phase of my life working a job in advertising sales, the average time I had spent in one vehicle of making money aside from my business was a few months. I started working in advertising sales at the age of 23. Certainly, there's nothing better than listening to business owners and vice presidents bare their souls with their marketing problems, sometimes only to tell me they weren't interested in buying advertising even though lack of brand awareness was ironically their biggest concern. Despite how crazy that sounds, I developed friendships with most of my clients, and problem solving their business concerns became a fun exercise for me as time went on. I loved hearing about their good results from campaigns I had created. The best compliments I had received were from clients who brought more of what was working or sent me referrals. Advertising and branding go hand in hand, and some of the most valuable lessons I learned came from that time in my life. I was able to implement those lessons back into my own business, and at age 27, my business more than doubled from the size it had been prior to the regression I experienced. Fast forward to age 29, my wife Michelle and I were looking for the right opportunity to invest in. Being as smart as she is, Michelle ran the numbers on a recently closed oral surgery practice looking to sell equipment and rent the space. She brought me the great idea of a pediatric dental office that could offer sleep dentistry, but at first I didn't want any part of it. I had done the dental gig before, so I thought I would focus on the network business and wanted our investment to be more passive than active. Michelle said, if we take this over and make it our own, I will take most of the responsibility for it and you can help when you can. I reluctantly replied, okay, let's really plan this out on paper and go from there. Well, she crushed it. Now, All Smiles Harrisonburg has turned into one of the premier pediatric orthodontic and oral surgery practices in Western Virginia. Now I feel that I have come to a point in my life where I'm starting to understand how much opportunity is truly available to everyone. Using the credibility that Michelle and I created while helping multiple people create sizable income through network marketing, we launched StoneCo LLC. Creativity. Business strategies are one of the things that I do through StoneCo that allows me to take the passion I have for problem-solving business barriers and apply it to traditional businesses. It is so satisfying to help people unlock things that can get their business unstuck or help them frame out their brand and create marketing strength. Applying similar principles to those I learned in network marketing taught me how to show traditional business owners how they can have an incredible quality of life while pursuing their dreams, even to the point of scaling out day-to-day operations and working on their business, as much or as little as they choose. Reforming the standard operating strategy is a necessary task if the owner decides that they truly want an exit. I wish you the best as you pursue your dreams and work on checking off your goals. And if I have the pleasure of crossing paths with you in the future, maybe we can mark some of those goals off the list together.
Follow Brent Stone on Instagram at Brent_StoneCo_ or on his website, funnelforce.co.